So jumping right in, I bought the costume, obviously, and we're going to cut off the very crappy pieces of it and remake them. Starting with this very shitty armor that looks very, very cheap, and there's a reason I made the armor all by myself. Because you want this to look professional when you're cosplaying. You could use a seam ripper, but I can't find mine anywhere, so I'm just carefully using my scissors. And it helps if you rip it a little. Also, I glued the shoulder pads to the cape. Like I'm doing right now. I glued the back, and I forget what side I glued which shoulder pad. If you're running out of glue like me, put it on your finger, or you can use a brush and paint the glue to the craft foam. And now we're on to the amplifiers. I just remembered what they're called. So you want to take this shape of the crappy one to the craft foam. And you want to use a scissor to get the shape. But the very crappy the crappy version of the amplifiers for the costume, they're not very accurate to the anime, which I didn't realize until I started priming them. Oh, and I'm also putting the gem on the wrong way, which I also didn't realize until I was about to prime the model magic. Actually, no, this is the right way. I was just, at the time, referencing the whatever it's called next to me, the amplifier, the crappy one. And I'm saying crappy quite a lot now. And you want to take a sharp utensil and carve out the lines. And I'm using that thing as a reference on the left. The amplifier. I've seen this anime so many times, and I'm having trouble remembering what it's called. And now you want to take a bag of model magic, cut the gem off the fabric, and basically you want to put it over the fabric that's supposed to be the gold pieces. And my camera's shaking because this is when I got my new camera, because My water camera was giving me shit, so I had to use this one. And you want to glue the Model Magic on so it doesn't move. But when it's wet, I realized it doesn't come off very easily. This is my experience from years of using Model Magic for cosplay. And I'm just putting the gem on for show. That sounds weird, but I think that's how you say it. And I have a lot of trouble with this piece of the Model Magic. I think this took me 3 tries. So I realized first I need to glue it on, and I'm using a brush because again, I'm running low on glue. And don't worry if the glue gets onto the black piece of your belt because this is clear glue. I'm using tacky glue to for this. You could use hot glue if you want, but personally, I think hot glue is really bad quality, and it's very time consuming. So I highly recommend tacky glue. I just say that hot glue is time consuming because you have to wait for it to get hot and stuff like that, and you could burn yourself. And tacky glue is much stronger. And next, for the other pieces, you want to mark it with glue, and you're going to cut out some crass foam. But first you need a good idea of how big they're supposed to be. Oh, and this is when I start using my new camera. Okay, I'm really sorry. The camera's going to be very shaky throughout this whole clip because it was very, very heavy. And I had a lot of trouble keeping it in place. But anyway, now you're going to prime it. And keep the circle area, the middle, free of gesso, because mine was still wet from keeping the gem on the whole time. Again, please excuse how shaky the camera is. I really tried. The camera was, again, very heavy. So you're gonna paint your crass foam pieces gold, and if it does get on the black pieces of the belt, you could wipe it off. Why am I stuttering? You could wipe it off, or you could go back with it with black paint. So this is when I realized that I made the amplifiers the wrong shape. So I'm fixing that right now. And you want to prime them, but don't prime them after they're painted, because you want them to look like, I think to me they look like stone. And now you're gonna paint the gold. You're gonna paint the gold pieces of the belt, and then you're gonna clear coat them, or use clear glue, or gesso again. I use gesso because it's all I have. And if you're seeing spots I missed, I went back with it off camera. And with this piece, I use clear glue to coat it. And for some reason, I was trying on my Lina gloves. And you want to glue all the gems on. And you want to put it onto a bracelet, or you can make your own. I was originally going to make my own bracelets, but then I found the ones I got at I used the ones I got at a high school field trip I bought at the store I never used. So anyway, press it down. Press the gem down after you glue it. Don't worry, that'll come off. And you want to go back with the gold pieces with gesso. And finally, you're going to glue the last amplifier onto the neckline. And I would show a picture, but by the time I'm recording and editing this, I have not worn this to a convention yet. So I hope that helped you out if you're a fan of Slayers. And thanks for watching, I guess. Bye.